Hello, welcome back to Environmental Studies class. This is chapter number 11 again, Sunita in Space, part 3, which is final part for this chapter. Moving on, we are going to discuss today your favorite objects, what you see at night in the sky. These celestial bodies which are visible into the sky are known as celestial bodies. So when you look into the sky at night, what do you see? You see moons and you see moon and lots and lots of stars. So these are very far away objects from us. Moon is visible because it is a little near as compared to stars, and stars appear very little in size because they are very far away from the sun. Now, what is moon? Moon is a satellite of the earth. So it is a natural satellite of the earth, which we are going to discuss into the next slide. Why do you think the stars twinkle? Because stars have their own heat and light. That's why they twinkle. But why do moon appears to be so bright? Moon is just reflecting the light of the sun. That's why it appears to be bright. Now, these are the things we see in the night sky. But what about daytime? Where these things go into the daytime? Well, they are there. They are not going anywhere. They are there, but they are very nicely, very properly hidden by the strong and scorching glare of the sun, because the sun's sunlight is so much that they are totally hidden by the sunlight, that they are not at all visible in the daytime. That's why we are actually able to see them during night time. Now, moon is the only natural satellite of the earth. It was created 4.6 billion years ago. It is the fifth largest moon in the solar system. There are 8 planets in the solar system, and few planets out of that does not have their own satellite. Earth has its own satellite. Other planet like Jupiter and Saturn also have their own satellite. So these satellites are known as moons. Our satellite is known as moon. So these satellites are called moons also. So Jupiter has lots of moons, and when all these moons are combined of the solar system, our moon, the Earth's moon, stands on the 5th number. It is the 5th largest in the solar system. It is the second brightest object in the sky after the sun. The first brightest object in the sky is sun, and next, which could be spotted immediately, is moon. The moon orbits around the earth once per month. That is, goes around the earth once per month. So these are some facts here about the moon. Moon is very visible from earth with a telescope or even a very good pair of binoculars. You can see the moon's surface and its craters. Why they are saying craters? Moon's you can say surface is not smooth. Like our earth is also, like, it is somewhere plain, it has somewhere mountains and everything, but the surface of the moon is not smooth. It has some kind of, somewhere some holes are there, something other is there. So I'll show you that into the next slide, what we are going to see that. So these uneven surface of the moon is and it visible as it has craters. The moon is tidally locked to the earth. How it is tidally locked to the earth? This means that the same side of the moon is facing the earth at all the times. Well, as the moon is going around the earth in a 1 month, it exactly 27 days. It also take moon 27 days to rotate on its own place also. So always the same side is visible to us of the moon. There is no atmosphere on the moon. That is why the craters are still there, and there is no rain or wind or weather activity to erode the surface, as we can see on earth. Now earth's surface keep changing due to the existence of atmosphere, and due to that atmosphere there is wind, weather and everything, and that's why the surface gets a slight change in some or the other time. So very slowly the surface of the earth changes, but because of the lack of the atmosphere on the moon, the surface of the moon is same as it was billion years ago. Now, as you can see in the first picture, I was mentioning the craters on the moon. These are the craters on the moon. You can see small bumps and all these things on the surface of the moon. This is the surface of the moon, it looks like. Now, in the second picture, these are the phases of the moon. This is how the moon is visible to us on the in a whole month. So you might be aware that sometimes the moon is big, sometimes it gets small, but moon decreases its size and increases its size because the shadow is falling. Now sun, earth and moon, or sun is at fixed place, earth is revolving, and rotating also. Moon is revolving and rotating also, and due to that revolution of earth and moon and rotation of earth and moon, this shadow falls on the moon, and that's why it is visible to us in somewhat different way every other day. So these are the different faces of moon as you are watching in the picture. Moving on, what is a satellite? I just told you that moon is a satellite. But what satellite is? A satellite is an object in a space that orbit or circles around a bigger object. So earth is bigger than the moon and it is orbiting our earth. So satellite is a smaller object which orbits around the nearest bigger object. Clear? So there are two kinds of satellites: natural, such as moon orbiting the earth, or the artificial, such as International Space Station orbiting the earth, that I told you about into the very first video, that what International Space Station is. It is a very big satellite. Now artificial satellites, International Space Station falls under an artificial satellite. What is artificial satellite? Artificial satellite is an object that people have made and launched into the orbit using rockets. Now artificial satellites are used for what? To study the earth, other planets, to help us communicate and even observe the distant universe. Satellites can even have people in them, like the International Space Station and the space shuttle. So these satellites, which are artificial, are specifically made and launched into the orbit using rockets in order to study the more space, to communicate with other bodies if that are in the space, and to simply observe the distant universe. Moving on. So this is the at the end of your chapter, which is when Sunita saw the earth from space and she found the earth very beautiful. Many thoughts came to her mind as she describes it. From so far away, one can only make out the land and the sea. One cannot see the different countries. Division into countries has been done by us. All the lines on the maps are made by us. They are our minds they are in our minds. I wish we all think about this. Where are the lines really? So as you can see, earth is visible from the space, just like the photo it is showing. Now you can see green land. Green and brown represents the land, and all the blue is representing the water, and all the white is representing the air pressure and clouds and everything. Now if you carefully see, you can find India on this on this earth, because you recognize India with its south, V shape of the south. But can you actually mark the lines here, that where is other country, where is Pakistan, where is Madhya Pradesh in India, and where is what? You cannot just put a finger and say that here it is, here it is. Well, because the lines are not physically put, lines are put by the human being. So that's what Sunita Williams observes from the space, that earth is so beautiful and there are no lines when earth is seen from the space. Lines are in our minds, and in the political these political lines are put by the people in order to divide the territories. That's it. But it is beautiful from the space. That's what Sunita wants to say. So do your best and things will work out. That's what Sunita said. How? When Sunita was 5 years old, she saw a picture of Neil Armstrong landing on the moon. Neil Armstrong is the first person to go onto the moon. In 1969, Neil Armstrong was the first man to walk on the moon. Like any other child, Sunita was also fascinated. Sunita says that when she was a young girl, she really loved sports, swimming. She was never too interested in studies. But after high school, Sunita wanted to become a driver. But she could not get into that course. Instead, diver means a person who dives into the sea and studies that. So, but she could not get into that course. Instead, she became a helicopter pilot. One day, she found out that if she studied and trained for it, she could join the space mission also. And that is what she did. In 2007, Sunita Williams set a new record for the longest space flight by a woman. Sunita often gives her own example to tell children, if you want something but you get something else, do not give up. Do your best and things will work out. So she wanted to become a diver, but she went for being a pilot of a helicopter, and then she studied more and she applied to more courses, completed it, and then she joined the space missions, and that's how she became astronaut. So she wanted to become something else, but she opted for another course because she could not get into that course. But she did not get disheartened, and she went ahead and got successful and set a few Guinness Book of World Records. So when Sunita was asked by a child what she like to do in future, she answered, I want to become a school teacher. So after she gets free of all the space missions, she wants to become a school teacher. Now why she wants to become a school teacher? So that she could make children understand how science and maths are closely linked to our lives. Our whole life is about science and mathematics. Without that we cannot exist. That's what she wants to teach to the children after becoming a school teacher. Thank you so much. Here your chapter number 11, Sunita in Space, ends with part number 3, and I hope you understood the chapter well. Do read this chapter from your NCERT book, and I will see you in next class. Till then, take care and be safe. Bye everybody.